Georgina, thank you so much for joining us. It's the start of week 2 now, and we've got the politicians due to arrive. What's the status of things? Where are we at here?
Well, there's been a lot of progress made here in the last 10 days on refining text and getting options ready to put before the ministers once the high level starts, which is happening tonight. There's still a lot of work to be done. There's a whole bunch of negotiating to happen today to get that text into a state that it can be put in front of ministers who aren't across all of the technical details. But that work has been going on, and there's a lot of progress happening in areas like finance and technology and adaptation. And so, there is a lot of momentum here on getting a lot of that technical details sorted out.
And should we feel positive about the next few days? What's the, as somebody who's been to these talks before, how's it going so far?
Well, I think that there's really sort of a two-speed thing going on, because there is a lot of progress happening at the technical level in sorting out a lot of the details. But at the same time, we're still missing that magic ingredient of shifting speed towards really getting a 2-degree outcome here. At the moment, there's pledges on the table for mitigation from countries that represent 80% of the world's emissions, and that's really fantastic. That was secured in Cancun. But those current pledges are really only going to deliver emissions reductions capable of limiting warming to around 3.5 or 4 degrees warming. Now, that's going to be enough global warming to stimulate runaway climate change, which is going to unleash all sorts of awful impacts on people around the globe. So if we just continue along the road from Cancun, we're not going to solve this problem. Cancun set us up, set a framework, but what we really need to see out of this meeting is actually a turning of the corner and a changing of the direction that we took in Cancun. That's the magic ingredient that's still unclear whether it's going to be delivered, because what it needs from ministers is a collective acknowledgement that what they've put on the table so far is insufficient. There is an emissions gap. There is a gap in the ambition of the world. And if they come together collectively to acknowledge that gap and set up a process to raise their ambition, take deeper emissions cuts and ensure that we're peaking emissions in 2015, then we'll be on track to meet the 2-degree goal.
And so what's changed since Cancun last year? Where have we made progress? Where have we made progress in this last week even?
Well, one of the important things that Cancun did was really set the groundwork for a series of decisions to be made, particularly on the transparency frameworks. And that requires a whole lot of technical detail to be done around the updating that countries are going to be doing on what they're doing to meet their pledges. So then they're going to need to be submitting information to the UN every couple of years saying, these are the actions that we've taken, this is this is where we're heading from here, this is the amount of emissions reductions it translates into. So setting up the frameworks to do that reporting and ensure that it's transparent actually takes quite a bit of discussion and technical work. So that's been going on all through this year, and hopefully those transparency systems are going to be a key part of the outcome from this meeting.
So what should we expect at the end of this week then? We've got a few days to go now. What's your prediction for the early hours of Saturday morning?
Well, it's pretty hard to make predictions in this process. I think if we see the Alliance of Small Island States being much more supported in the positions that they're putting forward on mitigation ambition and on legal form to get a treaty as quickly as we possibly can, then I think we can secure a good outcome of this meeting. The Alliance of Small Island States is really going to be the litmus test of how successful this meeting is. If they come out of it happy, then the civil society community will be happy, because they're the ones who are here championing a really ambitious outcome.
Thank you so much for speaking to us.
No worries, thank you.